Hello guys, in this new tutorial I'm going to show you how to save and load blueprint structures. As you see here, I have created a new folder called BP Extract Save, where I'm going to place the blueprints I need to save, to make a test that you can see how it works, and you can implement the same thing in your own projects. So I'm going to open this folder, and you can see that inside this folder I have created a test extract. So if I open this test extract, this structure, you'll see that I have some values: a boolean, a float, a string, and a vector. It doesn't matter what values are inside. And now I have a test actor. Um, you should keep in mind that this workaround for saving blueprint structures needs an actor, as it uses a custom component. So I'm going to open this actor. Inside this actor I have a test. If you probably already have tried something like this, and I have a test extract that has a save game flag enabled, and if I have made some events for changing the default value and printing the value. So if I try this, well, I'm going to delete the save file first, and well, I forgot to add the test actor to the world, so I'm going to place the actor in the world. And if I test this, I'm going to print with I, and it prints default. And if I change the value with U, it will change the value to modified value. So if I print, it works. So I'm going to save the game, load the game, and print the value again, and it prints default, which means that it is not saving the blueprint structure. If you tried this before, you probably already know that blueprint structure doesn't work. But with this workaround, you will be able to save and load blueprint structures. And you need to use this CSWStorer component, but first you actually need to extend this component. So if I create a extend from CSWStorer component, I'm going to call this BP test store. And now it's inside this storer where I'm going to create the blueprint structure. So yeah, so keep in mind that inside this is the component where the get saved and set saved functions are, if you remind the previous tutorials. So I'm going to create this test extract. Instead of being inside the actor, it is going to be inside this component. And I'm going to copy the values. When you create the variables inside this component, you actually don't need to set the save game flag to true. But you can set check to true, but you don't actually need. Every variable you create here will be saved by default. Keep in mind that you can also create more instructions inside here, or you can create arrays of struct. You can create actually anything you want inside this component. So I'm going to delete the struct inside the actor, and instead of creating an struct, I'm going to add this test storer component we have created, and I'm going to make the same test I made before. So when I press U, I'm going to modify the value of the struct, of this test struct. I'm going to change the value to modified value. This is the same test as before, but instead I am using the component, and I'm going to print. So as you see, this is the same thing as using an struct directly. This is very similar. So I'm going to delete the save file, and let's test this. I'm going to print the value and its default. So I'm going to press U now, and if I print again, it will be modified value. Now I'm going to save the game, close, and if I load the game, it should print modified value, and if I print, it's working now. And as you see, this is the way of how you can save blueprint structures using this workaround. So I'm going to wrap up this video now, and let's continue in the next tutorial.